Guys, I am very excited. We have Robin here from Charlottesville, Virginia, recently passed her Nasm, and she is ready to help you pass your Nasm. Okay, now we're going to start off with some really unique tips. And I know I say this often, but she has tips not just on how to study and how to do that properly, but how to take the actual exam and what to do during the exam. So Robin, thank you so much for being with us tonight and sharing your tips.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Sorry, are you ready to make this thing happen, Robin?
I hope so.
All right, here we go. So the tips. Let's just dive into tip number one. So for somebody getting ready to sit for their NASM, what is your first tip?
First tip is you've got to carefully read the question, dissect it. Chances are NASM added something to it that's going to make or break the answer, or not. There are curveballs, but dissect it. And out of those 4 choices, eliminate 2 of those possibilities.
Okay, awesome. So basically, when you're taking the NASM exam, eliminate 2 of them. So you're left with 2. That's first tip number 1. And at that point, you have like a 50-50 on that question, I guess, right? All right, let's.
It works. I find it's the first step.
No, absolutely. That's great. Okay, tip number 2.
All right, the second one would be, let's see here. From there, I would reread and re-dissect that question, but put your NASM mindset in. Mm-hmm. And out of those 2 questions that appear to be as close to correct, think about which one NASM, how they would want you to answer it.
Okay. Now give them some help on that. What if they're taking the exam and they eliminate 2 of the questions and they have 2 left, and you want them to think like NASM, what would be an example of how you would want them to think about those 2 remaining questions?
Pretty much with the 2 remaining questions.
I'm sorry, 2 remaining answers.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh my gosh. Sorry, it's late. But I would say that there was one question that had balance and stability added to the answer, and then the other one did not. I know NASM's a stickler for balance and stability, so I picked that one. And that one wound up being the right one.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. Let's roll on to your next tip.
Oh, and let's see here. Sorry, I've got to go through those 2. For some weird reason, I don't know, my third one got eliminated. Jeez Louise.
That's okay. That's all right. You can think about that. In the meantime, let me ask you this. How long did you study for total?
Oh, it took me 4 months from the time I got my book to actually doing the test.
Okay. And about how much time did you spend studying each week on average?
Well, I will say I have the privilege of being a housewife where my kids are not in school. Are in school, but I'm alone. So
gotcha.
So I spent an average of 2 to 3 hours every day.
Okay, 2 to 3 hours every day.
Yeah, but I probably could have gotten away with 1 hour. I just wanted to go the extra mile.
Okay, cool. And did you have any background in exercise science or kinesiology, anatomy, anything at all?
No, healthcare. That was my my winning. Oh, actually, before I took the NASM CPT, I did take the group fitness instructor.
Okay.
From AFA.
Well, I tell you what, since you brought that up, what would you say that obviously there's a big difference, but what would you say was the big difference between those 2 exams for those that have also taken the AFA group fitness?
Well, I will say the AFA exam, I will say the AFA studies was a very brief overview of the CPT. So some of the information I was able to retain from the AFA GFI, I was able to take it over to the NASM CPT exam. Mm-hmm. So for instance, the ADP PC system. Okay. I was able to, that information transferred very easily. Mm-hmm. Progressions and regressions, I was able to transfer those, but I didn't know things like over and underactive muscles. It was not that detailed. It didn't tell me how to do an assessment. So I spent a lot of time in that when I did the CPT. The test itself is the same protocols where it's like 120 questions you have to do in the same amount of time. Still have the NASM, the way that they like to word their questions, where it's different from the practice test material. So that didn't change, but I would say some of the information, it made better sense when I went to CPT.
Okay. Now, getting back specifically to the CPT, you also use the Body Design University's NASM exam prep, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your experience like with that? And how did that help you?
I would say it definitely took things beyond the study guides. I felt like Doug gave the white glove service. To be honest, I've looked at other exam preps as an option leading up to BDU. Actually, I was referred to BDU by my neighbor.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, my own neighbor.
Will you thank your neighbor for referring us?
Yeah. Hey, Becky. How's it
Hey,
going,
Becky.
girl?
Thank you. Okay. Really cool.
Yeah, I told her I owe her drinks. So,
oh my gosh. Protein shake, right? You meant?
Yeah, she's still in the group too.
So. It's great. She's going to see this. Becky, thank you. Thank you for referring. So how did it help you? How did you feel like it helped you?
I would say, because the NASM was very self-guided, I felt like I was getting more of a classroom experience, which is something that I feel like I retained better in a more of a, like I was able to discuss it with somebody. Like if I was stuck somewhere, I had someone to talk to. Like the support was very personal.
Okay.
And it just reminds me of my prior, education, where if you were stuck, you would talk to the professor, you would talk to your teacher. If you were struggling, you had that that connection,
lifeline.
And that's what the NASM experience lacks. Like as far as they give you the book, they give you some videos, they give you a study guide, great. But when you're stuck, I get that I had the package where I could call a trainer and talk to them, but they didn't understand where my mind was going. They're not teachers, they're trainers. So I did try that option. I didn't have it was an okay experience. I called it meh.
Okay.
But I would say Doug provided more of a teacher student type experience. So I felt like I walked away learning a little bit more and being able to connect those dots a little faster than I would anywhere else.
Okay, cool. And so would you recommend the NASM exam prep that we do to others, and why?
I would make it essential. I seriously would. The pass rate for NASM is, it makes me a little nervous, to be quite honest. And the idea of having to go through that again, if you fail the first time, is double nerve-wracking. Even if you've prepaid for the retest, it's nerve-wracking. I wouldn't want to go through that, and I think what BDU actually gave was peace of mind. So that part I'm always thankful, is that I had that peace of mind.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you going through that. Any other tips? Did you think of that third tip on the testing?
Do you know, I have a weird third tip that has not a lot to do with the test, but more about what makes the whole study process easier. And I think it kind of transpires. While I was studying for my CPT, I didn't really tell anybody, because the last thing I needed was people acting like as if they were personal trainers and telling me that they know everything, and hearing my studies, I didn't want the added noise, like the distractions. Like I wanted to be laser focused. So I didn't obviously my family knew that I was testing. Becky knew I was testing, but even now, like I'm slowly telling people I passed. But a lot of it had to do with the fact that I didn't want the added noise. I just wanted to just keep my nose to the book and nowhere else. And I feel like that took a lot of the outside pressure. I feel like that could transpire to the test and one's mindset,
No, I agree. I think anything to reduce the test anxiety that people naturally get, going up to a big exam like that. And thank you for sharing that. It's very unique because, I recently did an interview where, it was the exact opposite. And the reality is that people are different, and your tips that you're sharing, like, are going to really help some folks and maybe not be the right for other folks. And when you're listening to these tips, you take them in and take what you believe is going to work for you. And I really like that idea. I really do. I think that I would personally rather celebrate after the fact, but not like tell everyone that I'm studying for this. However, I've had another student come on and say, look, he told family members, he told this, and he recommended doing that because it was like this support network. So I can see it both ways. I totally can. But I think I do like not having, because I don't need the accountability. So for you guys out there that don't need the accountability of cheerleaders or people, supporting you, and you just want to dive in and do it, then I think what Robin is saying in this tip is really strong. If you do feel like you need support and accountability, then the other option is to share it and have people hold you, accountable. But it's very interesting, Robin. Thank you so much for that. Any last words for those folks that are studying right now? It's a challenging process. They study for all this time. Any words of encouragement?
Probably the best thing I could tell you all is it's okay to be nervous. In fact, I feel like it's a good thing. It means that you care. It means the information's there. It's waiting to get out. That's at the end of when you take this test, you're going to realize that's where those nerves were truly coming from, is you had that knowledge all along. It just needed to get out somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. Well, again, thank you so much for being a part of this, coming on, sharing your tips. We wish you the absolute best, Robin. However you plan to use this, go out there and help as many people as you can.
Will do.
Take care.